Hey, what's going on? Have that hope community. Today I wanted to talk about one of my favorite Bible verses. Um, I generally live my life by quotes. Uh, Usually use them to get me through stress, depression, anger, things of that nature. I just wanted to, this particular quote stuck out in my mind after this week of work I've had. Been pretty rough. I had some couple of times where I didn't eat lunch, things of that nature. I had to just work. I was working from start to finish, man. Nothing, humping and bumping. So today I just wanted to, at the end of my work week, not even really the end, but technically the end. It's a Friday. I wanted to let you guys know about this Bible verse that's given me strength and positivity that I want you to try to apply to your day to day when you are in turmoil, stress, or individuals you're dealing with. The quote is, or the Bible verse is, I don't quite remember what verse or book it was in. It just pretty much came to me, and I just totally just recalled it off the top of my dome. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You may have heard this before. This is a very powerful quote, and it made a lot of sense for me this week. Because I felt very frustrated at work. Like I said, I had times where I didn't eat lunch. And with me, particularly when I don't eat, it affects my mood. It's very hard to think and, protect my mood in the moment. So, just like with anyone, lightheadedness, you get muscle aches, things of that nature. But be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. It makes so much sense because, guys, when we're going through stress, when we're going through turmoil, we're going through situations we can't necessarily help at that moment, what do we turn to? Our bodies are stuck, right? Our bodies are in that situation. What can we do? In those situations, you have to remember that Bible verse, guys. Your mind is your power in those times, in those situations. You have to utilize it. And what that means, transform your mind and being renewed, is transforming or changing your perspective on how you see things, on how you see the stress, on how you see the situation, on how you see the person. You have to transform your reaction, your perspective of what that thing is. Kind of like what we talked about before, guys, on how we see situations, on when we talking about when we tell ourselves, oh, I got to go to work today. And when you change that perspective and say, I get to go to work today, right? We need to learn to love the things that stress us, guys. We have to learn to get used to them. Some things we can change, some things we can't. If you're in a dead end job situation, you hate going there every day, but hey, this is paying what living you may have, you need to appreciate that job. And if you need education, you need something like that to further you along to where you can get to a better job, something that you better want to deal with, then you have to endure the job that you don't like for the moment to help you get through. And you have to change your perspective on how you see that job that you hate. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to be in a job to feel like you may feel like you feel like you better, you may feel like you're more qualified, you may feel like you can do more, You may feel like you deserve it, but maybe you haven't proven yourself. You know, maybe you haven't gotten the education. So what do? Well, you definitely don't quit, because then that puts you in a worse situation. When you go from little money to no money, that's definitely worse. You have to remember, guys, if you got a hoopty, man, that's all you got. You better ride that hoopty, fix it up, do what you can. Look at that hoopty in another light. You know, you have to see something like that job you hate. Is there room that you can move in within that job? Can you get promoted to manager? Can you get better hours? Can you get more hours to get paid more? You know, you have to look to see what resources you have within your spectrum, because I guarantee, wait a minute, does your job offer tuition reimbursement? Guys, you got to look into them resources. I can understand you don't like where you are, and I can understand, hey, you may hate your boss, but what's the plan? What you gonna do about it? You know, you have to change, you have to shift your perspective to situate your situation so you don't go crazy. Because it makes no sense to go to a job every day that you hate and just complain every night just to go do the same thing the next day. That's pure torture. That's pure torture. No one should live that way. But we choose our lives. We truly do. I truly believe that. So we must understand, guys. Please remember, try to apply this Bible verse to your life, man. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Try that. Just whenever you're in a situation, or if you have bad thoughts toward an individual that you must deal with, if you got bad thoughts toward a job that you hate to go to, what can you transform in your mind about that job that you see, about that person that you deal with? What can you transform, how that may help you, how that may be a positive for you? You know, dealing with people. There we go. Let's talk about that. I've dealt with tough relationships in my life. I've recently gotten out of a tough relationship, toxic relationship. And yes, you know, you hate the relationships that don't work out because you feel like you've wasted your time. You know, you can have that perspective. But my perspective is that this person squeezed and stressed me enough to realize my power that I had in myself. That's what that toxic relationship did for me. By a person looking down on me, thinking I was less than, holding me to superficial norms and not measuring up to those things, made me, when I let go of those things, it let me realize that I was holding myself hostage. So that person actually helped me become strong. You know, that toxicity, that negativity, person, you know, causing you to have low self-esteem, it made me realize that I allowed that situation. I allowed myself to have low self-esteem. This person wasn't making me feel low. I was allowing that person to tell me about myself. And I was letting an individual let me know if I was a good person. That's where I went wrong in that relationship and in life. And I think where most of us in life go wrong is that we give people the power of how we should see ourselves, which is definitely wrong. Definitely wrong. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's the only way you're going to get through life, guys. That's the only way you become better and not bitter. Because when you can transform, when you can turn lemons into lemonade in any situation, then you realize the strength that you have, you know? Any material that's thrown on a fire becomes fuel for that fire, right? What happens when you throw wood or pretty much any type of object on a fire? What happens? The fire consumes it. The fire gets bigger. The fire takes it as its fuel, right? Just like with that statement, your fuel, your fire is your stress. Your fuel, your fire is your positivity. Whatever you want your fire to be. It could be your anger. It could be your depression. Fire can be anything, what you choose it to be. So whatever you throw on that fire will feed that fire and grow that fire. If I have a depression fire, because I choose to be depressed, I can think of a million things that happened to me or situations I'm in that I could think of that could be fuel for that fire and grow that fire of depression. Anybody could, right? It's what I choose to. Depression, anger, any emotion that I choose to have. It's the fire that burns within me. The point is that I choose, and I want you to choose to develop your fire of positivity, to develop your fire of self-esteem, self-confidence, all these positive words, right? Use those things for your fire. So if I choose to be positive, I can look at this tough week of work I've had and say that it made me stronger, that it prepared me to work hard and realize that a good hard day's work is never wasted. You know, being productive, making a difference in someone's life. That's what matters, and that's what fuels me. That's what I allow to fuel my fire. So please, guys, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. And understand, guys, it's all about perspective. Life is perspective. Life isn't life. Life is what you see. Life is how you see it. So in a way, you control it. You control your life. Not in a way, in the way. You control it. So please, guys, take this Bible verse, utilize it in your life, apply it to something that is worrying you, apply it to something that is stressing you, and change your perspective on how you see it. See how that may affect, how that may build your fire of positivity. All right? So have that hope community. Signing out, guys. I'll talk to you again. Reach out with another installment of things we can apply to ourselves on a day-to-day basis. So please have that hope, guys. Talk to you later.